Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. Exodus 4:12. This sentence was not spoken to a confident man. It was not addressed to someone who felt ready, strong, or emotionally secure. It was spoken to a man who deeply doubted himself, who carried fear, insecurity, and a constant sense of not being enough for the calling placed before him. Moses was not searching for purpose when God called him. He was surviving, living repetitive, silent days, seemingly without direction. And yet it was precisely in that internal state, not in a moment of glory, that the calling came. The human mind believes it must feel ready before moving forward. It seeks control, certainty, and guarantees before obedience. But biblical wisdom reveals a completely different pattern. The calling does not wait for emotional security. Security is built along the journey. That is why this story remains so relevant today, because it touches a silent wound carried by many people, the feeling of not being enough yet, of not being ready, of needing to fix something inside before taking the next step. This is not an invitation to impulsive action. It is an invitation to understand the value of the inner process. To recognize that true wisdom does not immediately eliminate fear, but teaches us how to walk with fear without letting it rule our decisions. Perhaps you too have postponed important steps while waiting to feel more confident. Perhaps you have confused caution with paralysis. Perhaps you have been waiting for an external sign while the process has already been unfolding within you. Pause for a moment. Listen to this story carefully. Not as an ancient narrative, but as a mirror. Because, in a quiet and profound way, the story of Moses also speaks about those who were called before they ever felt ready. Moses did not begin his story in the desert. From his very first breath, his life was shaped by tension and threat. He was born under a sentence of death, in a time when his people were enslaved and systematically oppressed. Before he could choose anything, survival had already chosen for him. He was rescued from the waters and raised inside Pharaoh's palace, educated among power, strategy, and authority, trained in leadership, language, and governance. Externally, Moses looked prepared for greatness. Internally, his identity was divided. He lived between two worlds. He was not fully Egyptian, yet he could not fully live as a Hebrew. That internal division created a deep psychological conflict. And when identity is fractured, the mind often compensates through impulsive action. When Moses witnessed injustice against his people, he reacted emotionally rather than wisely. He acted before his time. He tried to resolve a deep problem with a premature decision. That moment changed the course of his life. The escape was not only physical, it was mental, it was emotional. The desert stripped Moses of everything that once defined his external value. No title, no recognition, no audience. For years, he lived in repetition, caring for sheep, walking the same paths, living days that felt indistinguishable from one another. From a neuropsychological perspective, when the mind loses external validation, it is forced to confront itself. That confrontation, though uncomfortable, is deeply transformative. In the desert, Moses learned to listen. He learned patience. He learned how to exist without depending on the approval of others. What looked like a setback was actually an internal restructuring. God was not absent, he was working in the invisible. Many abandon their journey at this stage. They mistake anonymity for failure. But true wisdom is born precisely there, where the ego quiets and the mind strengthens. Moses was not losing time. He was being prepared to carry a calling that could not be sustained without humility and inner stability. When God finally spoke, Moses did not respond with excitement. He did not celebrate. He did not feel honored. He felt exposed. The calling did not awaken confidence. It awakened resistance, because a calling does not only confront the future, it confronts identity. Moses answered with questions that revealed his inner conflict. Who am I that I should go? I am not eloquent. What if they do not believe me? These were not surface-level excuses. They were the language of a mind shaped by past failure, fear, and unresolved memory. From a neuropsychological perspective, the human brain builds identity through repeated internal narratives. Moments of shame, rejection, or failure are stored not only as memories, but as warnings. Over time, those warnings become beliefs. I am not capable. I am not chosen. This is not for me. Moses had lived a public failure, followed by a silent escape. His mind associated leadership with danger, authority with loss, visibility with risk. So when the calling arrived, his nervous system reacted before his faith did. This is critical to understand. God did not argue with Moses' insecurity. He did not list Moses' qualifications. He did not attempt to convince him through logic or reassurance. Instead, God shifted the foundation of confidence. Biblical wisdom does not strengthen the ego. It stabilizes the process. Fear does not mean the absence of faith. It means the mind is aware of responsibility. And awareness, when properly ordered, becomes humility, not paralysis. Many people today confuse humility with inadequacy, but true humility does not stop movement. It creates openness to growth. The calling does not remove fear, it reorganizes it. Moses did not need to feel secure. He needed to stop interpreting his past as proof of limitation. When the mind releases its attachment to old failure, it becomes capable of holding new responsibility. That shift does not happen instantly. It happens when a person chooses to move forward without complete clarity. And that is where wisdom begins. God's response to Moses was not a long explanation. It was not a motivational speech. It was not a promise of ease or comfort. It was a short sentence with profound psychological structure. I will be with you. With those words, God did not remove Moses' limitations. He did not fix his speech. He did not erase his memories of failure. He simply changed the source of Moses' security. The human mind instinctively seeks confidence within itself. It wants to feel strong before acting. It wants certainty before obedience. Biblical wisdom reverses that order. It does not teach trust in personal ability, but trust in presence throughout the process. Here lies a truth that reshapes how calling is understood. True preparation does not always feel like preparation. Often it feels like repetition, like waiting, like silence. The desert was not an interruption in Moses' life. It was the classroom. For years, Moses was being emotionally trained without realizing it. He was learning to lead without applause, to listen without needing immediate response, to carry responsibility without external validation. From a neuropsychological perspective, the brain grows strongest when it learns to tolerate uncertainty without panic. That type of resilience is not developed during moments of rapid success, but through long, quiet processes. God did not rush Moses. He honored his internal timing. Because a great calling requires emotional stability, and stability cannot be forced. It must be built. Here is one of the most overlooked principles of wisdom. Not all growth is visible. Many abandon their process because results are not immediate. They confuse slowness with stagnation. But God works progressively, not impulsively. Moses' daily obedience, even when it seemed insignificant, was shaping the internal foundation required to lead an entire people. Nothing was wasted, nothing was rushed. The process did not delay the calling. The process made sure the calling would not destroy the one chosen to carry it. The story of Moses did not remain in the past. It repeats itself daily, quietly, in the lives of ordinary people. Today, many do not walk through physical deserts, but they live inside emotional and mental ones. Capable people, intelligent people, people with clear potential, yet internally paralyzed by a persistent feeling of not being ready. Modern society has trained the mind to seek immediate results, constant validation, and emotional certainty before taking responsibility. But life does not move according to that logic. From a neuropsychological perspective, the human brain avoids the unfamiliar because it interprets it as a threat. When a person approaches a new level of responsibility, the nervous system activates defense mechanisms: doubt, procrastination, perfectionism, excessive self-criticism. This is not lack of ability, it is misdirected protection. Moses was not only running from Egypt. He was running from a version of himself he did not yet know how to sustain. Many people today do the same. They delay decisions, postpone projects, wait to feel more confident, more prepared, more certain. But wisdom does not arrive as a sudden emotional shift. It is constructed through consistency. Clarity does not come before movement. Clarity is born from movement. Those who wait to feel ready often never begin. Those who begin with intention learn along the way. Biblical wisdom never presents growth as a single event. It presents it as a path, walked step by step. Emotionally stable people are not those who never doubt, but those who learn not to obey doubt. Moses learned to move forward while still uncertain, to obey while still afraid. And over time, that consistent obedience reorganized his inner world. Today, the greatest challenge is not lack of information. It is lack of internal direction. When the mind lacks structure, it scatters, it exhausts itself, it freezes. But when a person learns to intentionally nourish their mind day after day, they develop a quiet strength that does not depend on external circumstances. And that strength changes how they live, decide, and advance. There are seasons in life that make no noise. They do not attract applause. They do not produce immediate visible results. They are seasons of silence. Moses' desert was not only a physical place, it was an internal condition, a time when distractions were removed and the mind was forced to face itself. From a neuropsychological perspective, the brain requires periods of stillness to reorganize thought patterns, integrate experience, and develop deep clarity. Without silence, the mind reacts. With silence, the mind learns. For years, Moses lived within that quiet. He learned observation, he learned restraint, he learned to wait before acting. Waiting in this sense was not passive, it was formative. Modern life teaches people to fear silence because silence confronts unresolved emotions, expectations, disappointments, and unfulfilled desires. That is why the mind constantly seeks noise, screens, opinions, comparisons, distractions. But real growth happens when noise fades. Imagine if Moses had rejected that season, if he had interpreted silence as abandonment. He would never have developed the emotional stability required to carry the responsibility that awaited him. Wisdom does not always appear as a clear answer. Sometimes it appears as an increased capacity to wait without panic, to wait without losing direction, to wait without losing faith. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. In that internal space, the mind learns to stop depending on external stimulation to feel valuable. When a person reaches that level of stability, they no longer move by impulse, but by conviction. Moses did not leave the desert more eloquent, he left more stable. And that stability allowed him to listen carefully, to lead during crisis, and to make difficult decisions without emotional collapse. Perhaps you are also in a silent season now. Perhaps nothing seems to be moving externally. That does not mean nothing is happening. The deepest transformations always begin in silence. Moses' transformation did not happen in a single moment. It was not the result of one powerful experience. It was the outcome of a long, quiet, and consistent formation. Biblical wisdom is never presented as a sudden breakthrough. It is presented as a path, walked daily, sustained intentionally. From a neuropsychological perspective, the brain is reshaped through repetition. Thoughts that are revisited become stronger. Neural pathways that are used daily become stable. This is why a mind without direction is easily ruled by fear, doubt, and comparison. Moses learned to reorganize his inner world through simple, repeated behaviors. Listening before reacting, obeying before fully understanding, continuing even when progress was not visible. That daily repetition created emotional stability. Many people today seek massive change without building an internal structure strong enough to support it. They want clarity without process, confidence without consistency. But the mind does not function that way. Clarity emerges when daily actions align with inner intention, when thought, emotion, and behavior slowly move in the same direction. Practical wisdom does not demand perfection, it demands presence. It demands choosing the right direction again, even after discouraging days. Those who learn to nourish their mind daily do not depend on temporary motivation. They depend on emotional discipline. That discipline is not rigid, it is conscious. Moses did not become a leader because he never doubted, but because he learned not to allow doubt to dictate his movement. The same principle applies today. A person who develops daily mental direction builds a quiet strength that does not require constant validation. That strength changes how one speaks, how one decides, and how one advances. This is not about accelerating the process. It is about sustaining it. Because what is built with consistency does not collapse easily. The story of Moses does not end with a moment of courage. It ends with the realization that reshapes an entire life. The wisdom that sustains purpose is not built in a single moment, but through consistent inner formation. Moses did not wake up one day feeling completely ready. He learned to walk while still uncertain. He learned to move forward while doubt still whispered in his mind. And that is the final lesson. Life does not change when doubt disappears. Life changes when doubt is no longer allowed to decide direction. Many people wait for extraordinary signs when what they truly need is daily direction. The human mind becomes exhausted when it lives from impulse to impulse, but it grows strong when it finds continuity. That is why biblical wisdom was never designed to be consumed all at once. It was designed as daily nourishment, as a quiet guide, as a steady presence shaping decisions over time. Perhaps today, you do not need to transform everything in your life. Perhaps you only need to change what you consistently allow to shape your mind. Small reflections, sustained over time, create deep transformation. Moses did not lead because he was the most confident. He led because he was internally formed to carry responsibility without collapsing. That formation began when he accepted movement without having every answer. If this story resonated with you, do not let it remain only as a moment. The reflections that truly transform do not rush, they continue. This may be the right time to create a quiet daily space for wisdom, a habit that strengthens both mind and spirit. If this message spoke to you, let it flow. Share it with someone who may also be in process. And write in the comments, in which area of your life are you learning to trust, even without feeling fully ready? Some paths are not walked all at once. They are built day by day. And when the mind learns to walk this way, life stops feeling like a burden and begins to unfold as a purpose in formation.